Hello guys, welcome to this new video, or if I can say this, it is my first video on CCNA security. And in this very first video, we are going to go over some of the common security principles. And in this PowerPoint, I'm going to have just the section 1.1a. Oh, not 1.1a, but 1.1 for the CCNA security. If we go ahead and take a look at it, in exam topics, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to go over, and I'm going to cover everything on the list. So I'm always going to go one by one. The first video is going to be this one, the one today. So I'm going to go over the 1.1a, B, C, and also D. And then on another video, I'm going to go over 1.2. And then just like that, just that's just how I'm going to do it. And I'm always going to present I'm going always to have a PowerPoint first, and then I'm going to have a lab. But for this one, for the 1.1, I do not have a lab, but I will have a lab for the 1.2. So you're going to have two videos of PowerPoints. I know it's boring, and then you're going to see a lab. And after this ones, you're going to see lab right after a PowerPoint. And then when we get here, the PowerPoints are going to go down and the labs are going to go up. Okay, guys? So let's go ahead and start with this presentation that I put together, this PowerPoint, nice PowerPoint. Not really nice, but our first, our very first topic, we're going to talk about confidentiality and what confidentiality is for the CCNA security. And confidentiality, what this means in the CCNA security exam is that only authorized persons or people can view the sensitive or classify data or information. And there is two types of data for the CCNA security exam that you need to know. One is emotion and the other one is arrest. And emotion is going from point A to point B. Um, and the other one is arrest, which is sitting on a storage media. Okay, so the way that you can have confidentiality is by having either username and password or VPN for when data is in motion because you don't want anybody to have access to it that shouldn't have access, right? And when it's arrested, you also want to have a username and password, right? And also, if you want to add more confidentiality, you can always add two-factor authentication to it, which is really good. And I really recommend for every account that you have that always have a two-factor authentication, which is a lot harder to hack into your account. The other one is integrity. And the integrity is when the data hasn't been modified by unauthorized users, right? So if they don't have access to the data, they should not have access to modify the data, okay? So that's integrity. You don't want the data to change. Um, you don't want it to change. You don't want anybody that do not have access to change your data, right? And only authorized users are able to modify the data. And as you can see right here, corruption of data is a failure to maintain data integrity. And just like in the movies, I put right here, computer goes on fire whenever the FBI comes in. So whenever there's like a hacker and the FBI breaks into your or goes into your house and you just push that button and you computer goes on fire and it just erase everything that you have in your computer. So that is a good way to have data integrity because otherwise the FBI will just go into your computer and see all the illegal stuff that you have in there. Um, and one way that you can have integrity is by having VPN encryption. Also, SSH does some data integrity because it has your data while it's in traffic. Telnet does not do that. Telnet is clear text, so that's why it's not here. TACACS is another one that it's that the data is hashed, I believe, or encrypted. And Radius does not do it. That's why Radius is not there. And there's a lot of more technologies out there that you can have to that you can have integrity with, or that gives you integrity, right? And as you can see right here, I just put a picture of the VPN and how when you go um, from point A to B, it encrypts the data so nobody on the internet can see it or on the public network can see it. And another one is availability. And this is when the data is available to authorized users when and where they need it. Okay, so this applies to systems and also data. If the network is not available to authorized users because of a denial of service, the impact may be significant. So this is not good as well. So you need to have something to protect you against DOS. Otherwise, you're not going to have availability, right? People won't be able to access internet, and if you cannot um, have access to the internet or data, companies are going to lose revenue, and companies do not like when they lose revenue, right? And for you to be able to have availability, you need to stop DOS, so the denial of service attacks, and also DDoS. You need to have redundancy. That means that you need to have um, at least like a backup server or a backup Ethernet cable or backup link that whenever um, one link goes down, then the other one goes up. And you can do that by having HSRP, which you probably learned in CCNA if you took the CCNA exam. And also you need to have a disaster recovery plan. And those are the three ones that you need to know for the 1.1a, and this is called CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Yo, I used to put yo just because, and I put this picture 24/7 because you want to have access to what you need. If you are authorized, you want to have access to it 24/7, so the company doesn't lose revenue. Okay, and now we're moving up to the 1.b, and this is SIEM. So SIEM means Security Information and Event Management, and this is an approach to security management that combines SIM, which stands for Security Information Management, and also SIM, which is Management System. It is a live log and event management of a network, and some of you might know SolarWinds, um, which whenever you install GNS3, they always ask you to, oh, go ahead and install SolarWinds. It's like a 300 value software and blah blah blah. So they always trying to like sell you, and they try to give you for free. I never installed it before, so I don't know how free it is. And another network that you can use is Splunk. Okay, and moving up or moving on, the common security terms. Um, these are the terms that you need to know for the CCNA security, which is asset, vulnerability, vulner, vulnerability, threat, risk, and countermeasure. And an asset is either a property, people, right, users, information, or data. And this is what we want to protect with CIA. So we protect that by having confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And then we move up to vulnerability. And this is a weakness that a system has or a design has. And this could be because of a firewall is not patched. And what hackers can do, they can, if they see that your firewall is not patched with the latest one, they can always break into your firewall. And moving on with threat. So a threat is a potential danger to assets, right? And assets are property, people, information, and data. So remember that. And risk. Well, risk is a potential for unauthorized access to compromise, destroy, or cause damage, right? If somebody is not authorized, um, that means that they are breaking confidentiality, right, guys? Um, if confidentiality is not, um, it's a risk, um, that means that they're going to be people that are not authorized to have access to your data are going to be able to access it. So you want to protect that with confidentiality as well, so they do not compromise your company, destroy anything, or cause any damage. Uh, and this could be if like a firewall does not have a password, that means it doesn't have confidentiality, right? and they then could be able to reset um, our network devices, which could destroy your network and cause damage. And then you're going to have no network access, which then you are not going to have availability. And countermeasure, what this mitigates potential risk, right? And you can do that like a firewall. With a firewall, you can mitigate a lot of risk with a firewall, and a firewall can allow you to like block ports or have denied access to certain people or um, certain people or certain um, ports, because you can block ports with firewall, and you can do a lot of more stuff than that with a firewall. So if you want to mitigate risk, you want to have a firewall in your network. And then now we have this activity that I took this from the book. Hopefully they don't get mad at me, but it is a nice activity. So it is saying identify common network security terms. So we want to just like drag the network security term to the field next to the correct definition. So let's go ahead and do this activity. So item to be protected. What is that? I believe those are, it won't let me do it from here, so we gotta exit. Um, I believe those are the items that you want to be protected are not risks, are, let me see, weakness in your system is a vulnerability, right? So number two right here, potential danger are risks. And then we have relevance of a threat. We're going to mitigate risk. So this is going to go right here. And then where you want to be, items that you want to be protected is asset. And relevance of a threat is going to be a threat, I believe, right? Because the item that to be protected are asset. Those are the ones that you want to be protected. A weakness is this one, potential danger. Um, maybe I'm confusing. Let's take a look. Potential danger and relevance threat. Um, let's go back. Potential danger of asset. Yep. So it is a threat. So if we go, so potential danger are, so I got confused. This one should be, see if I can move it. So this one goes over here. Ah, I cannot move it. Let's see, this one goes over here. This one goes over here, and this one goes over here. So this is how they need to be. I believe this is how it is done. Potential danger, threats, prevalence of a threat are risks. Let me see, potential danger. Just want to be sure. So yeah, potential danger to assets. Okay, and let's go ahead and move on. And now we are going to define the network security zones. And the zones are private, public, and DMZ. And you can see right here on this picture what a DMZ is. A private is the inside, like private IP address. You can think about it like that. And then public or outside, which is the internet. So the private is a trusted network, is commonly referred to as the inside security zone controlled by us. So we are able to control that zone, which is the inside where we have all our computers. The public is untrusted network, is commonly referred to as the outside security zone, and we cannot control that zone right here, which is the internet. We cannot control that, but we are able to control the private um, network. And then the DMZ, this zone usually contains a rela, rela, I cannot say that word right now. Relatively, like, there we go. Relatively small number of systems whose services are made available to systems residing in the outside zone. So you want the outside, the public internet to be able to access the DMZ. And the DMZ devices, such as web services, are owned and controlled by the organization. So we are able to control this, but they are accessed by system outside of the organization's control. Okay, so we are able to control it, but we cannot control the people that are coming in, which is the public network or the internet. So people are able to access it, the DMZ, but they shouldn't be able to access the private, right? And those are like proxy servers, DNS, FTP, or voice over IP. And this is how you can filter your traffic. As you can see right here, going from the inside to the outside, traffic is inspected as it travels towards the public or the outside network or the DMZ network. This traffic is permitted with little or no restriction. Inspected traffic returning from the DMZ or the public network to the private network is permitted. Okay, and then going from outside to inside, this traffic um, that is coming from the public or the outside network and traveling to the private inside network is blocked. And then DMZ to inside traffic coming from the DMZ network traveling to the private network inside network is usually blocked. Um, Outside going to the DMZ, traffic originating from the public, which is the outside network, and traveling towards the DMZ is selectively permitted and inspected. This type of traffic is typically email DNS, HTTP, HTTPS traffic. Return traffic from the DMZ to the public network is dynamically permitted. Okay, so from outside to the DMZ, we dynamically permit it. It is dynamically permitted. And then from DMZ to outside, traffic originating from the DMZ network and traveling to the public outside network is selectively permitted based on service requirements. Okay, so this is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy my PowerPoint presentation. I'm not really good presenting PowerPoint. I'm a lot better at doing labs, but we need to know this information, and I wanted you guys to know it. And this is for the CCNA security exam. And the topic that I covered in this video was the 1.1. In the next video, I'm going to cover the 1.2. And then after I do that PowerPoint for the 1.2, I'm also going to do a little lab. Okay, guys? So I thank you guys for watching this video. And if you guys enjoy, just go ahead and subscribe to my channel and also follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.